Sagittarius. This full moon in your sign changes the emotional direction of the entire week, and possibly much more than that. You are standing at the edge of a personal turning point, and deep down, you already know it. This energy is intensely revealing because the spotlight lands directly on you. Your identity, your choices, your future, your emotional truth, your exhaustion, your desires, your contradictions. Something can no longer remain emotionally unresolved. For many Sagittarius placements, this feels like emotional awakening mixed with emotional discomfort. You may suddenly realize how much of your recent life has been driven by momentum rather than genuine alignment. You kept moving because stopping would have forced you to feel everything, but now the feelings arrive anyway. Mercury entering Cancer shifts your attention toward emotional intimacy, trust, vulnerability, and deeper energetic exchange. Surface-level interactions become harder to tolerate now. You want emotional honesty, even if it complicates things, especially if it complicates things. At the same time, Mars in Taurus pressures your physical energy, routines, obligations, and health patterns. Your body may become less cooperative with emotional avoidance this week. Fatigue, irritability, disrupted sleep, or emotional burnout become important signals rather than inconveniences. Please listen to them. Midweek brings a realization connected to freedom itself. You may suddenly understand that some forms of freedom were actually emotional escape routes. Avoidance disguised as independence, detachment disguised as empowerment. And once you see that pattern, your perspective changes quickly. This does not weaken you, it matures you. Jupiter in Cancer is beginning a deeper emotional growth cycle around trust, emotional intimacy, and shared vulnerability. But growth requires emotional honesty first, and this week delivers it. By the weekend, you may feel emotionally raw, but strangely clearer than you have in months. A relationship dynamic, personal goal, or emotional attachment begins revealing whether it still belongs in your future version of yourself. That answer may not fully arrive yet, but the process has already started. This week asks you to stop outrunning your own emotional reality. And once you stop running, the truth becomes impossible to miss.
Sagittarius, your tarot card is the Four of Swords. Your spirit needs recovery more than stimulation this week. This card appears when emotional exhaustion has quietly accumulated beneath constant movement. The universe is asking you to pause long enough to reconnect with yourself internally, instead of continually pushing forward through emotional noise. Rest is not failure. Stillness is not weakness. You may feel drawn toward solitude, reduced communication, reflection, sleep, healing, or emotional decompression. Honor that instinct. Clarity arrives more easily once your nervous system stops operating in survival mode. Your next direction becomes clearer after the pause, not before it.
Sagittarius, you get hexagram 24, Earth over Thunder, Return. This hexagram marks emotional renewal after confusion, exhaustion, or disconnection. Something within you begins returning to alignment now. Your instincts, your emotional honesty, your sense of direction. Return does not mean regression, it means reconnection. This week supports emotional reflection, healing, and quietly beginning again from a more truthful place internally. The pressure to constantly move forward begins softening. You do not need dramatic reinvention right now. You need emotional sincerity with yourself first.
Sagittarius, your rune is Sowilo. Sowilo is the rune of illumination, vitality, truth, and inner alignment. After emotional confusion or exhaustion, clarity begins returning this week. Something hidden becomes visible now, perhaps within a relationship, perhaps within yourself. But unlike harsher forms of exposure, Sowilo brings understanding through light rather than destruction. Confidence slowly rebuilds through authenticity. This rune also strengthens intuition and personal direction. The more honest you become about what your spirit actually needs, the more energy begins returning naturally. Your path becomes clearer the moment you stop abandoning yourself to maintain momentum.
This week carried emotional revelations. Quiet ones, deep ones. The kind that arrive softly at first, and then slowly change the way you see everything afterward. Some connections became clearer, some truths became harder to avoid, and some of you finally stopped asking your heart to remain inside spaces where it no longer feels safe to rest. That realization is painful sometimes, but it is also healing. Leave a comment below and tell me, what emotional realization stayed with you most strongly this week? And if this reading spoke to your spirit, subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next forecast. And please remember to watch your rising sign too. Often your rising sign reveals the emotional undercurrent shaping the events around you.